Hey, what's up? It's Friday. TGIF, everyone. TGIF. Hey, Ben Savage was in Pittsburgh actually earlier this week. But I'm Dominic D'Angelo. It's Rumor and Innuendo. And I'm here with Mr. Robert Karplus, WD Creative _ish. Robert, you're in your hurricane room, aren't you?
I'm in my hurricane room.
Yeah, I remember when you had the hurricane troubles down there. This was.
I'm in the bedroom.
Oh, okay.
I have a desk in the bedroom, but the cleaning lady's here. She's working in the family room. Like, let me come in here so the vacuum isn't going crazy and interrupting the big show. Apparently, we have today, according to big show announcements. I have no idea what the hell Dom is talking about, and that's what I'm so excited about. Since there was nothing in your pre-rundown email, but we'll say hi to some of the folks who are joining us here. Whether or not he knows it or not, just says, "What's up?"
What
I'm
up,
here.
E?
I might echo through your computer, Dom.
Oh, interesting.
Fantastic. Jeff Henninger says, hello, R&I. Johnny Disco said, happy SmackDown Friday. There is SmackDown tonight. It should be tonight. It's not a weird Netflix situation where it occurred at like 3 a.m. in Belgium or something. Nick Knack says, so sure. Jeff Henninger says, hello, R&I. Who's ready to SmackDown this Friday? AEO from the Devin Dowling, who says, I love the big show. And Willie Thornbrew says, you're so excited. I thought it was Friday.
It's not Friday. It is Friday. What am I saying? Hey, we do have an announcement, though, Robert. Do we want to hit it off with that?
I don't know what announcement you're talking about. So now I'm kind of excited.
Oh, are you?
No, don't do it. I
didn't
mean
kind of excited.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I'm so
By the way, he does that. We're doing it again because he forgets to push the button the first time. But the fact that he messed up and did it 3 times, best producer in all of wrestling podcasting. There's this weird light behind me shining through. It's like a gray, rainy day, but there's this like beam of light. So it looks like I'm broadcasting live from heaven. But it'll be heaven to know what this big, exciting announcement is from Mr. Dominic D'Angelo.
Everybody, hey, starting next Monday, Robert and I, we are going to be on a bigger platform. We'll be going live every Monday through Friday on Podcast Heat. That's right, Podcast Heat. I made this special graphic for all of us to enjoy. To make the announcement, there's Robert, there's me, there's the Florida King. So join us next week live on YouTube at the Podcast Heat channel. Just type in Podcast Heat Wrestling, and we will be there. And that will be the great place to interact with all of us, and we'll have a good time over there. So
we'll be there as well as we are everywhere else we currently are. I love how you call that the biggest platform. I'm still maintaining my X account's a pretty good. It's fine. But yes, despite being part of the Ad Free Shows Network and being part of Podcast Heat for a year and a half, we're finally now getting upgraded. All of a sudden, Conrad. So I was like, hey.
Hey,
why y'all ain't on our other network? By the way, Alt Jake says no more Conrad. No, Podcast Heat is Conrad as well.
Yes.
So this is just expanding. He used his special dialing wand, since he can't type with the fingers, to say, hey, let's get you on more platforms. So it's not less, it's more. It's expanding further our relationship with our friends over at Ad Free Shows. Another place for you guys to catch us live every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern. My God, the show isn't even over yet. We're doing the plugs.
Sounds like
Dom, what else are we talking about here today?
Yeah, let's talk. So I covered Dynamite yesterday.
By the way, Alt Jake says, I'm blocked by Connie, so I have no clue. It could be an eclipse.
Oh, my.
I love Conrad. I'm allowed to do these things. What are we? I don't even know what we're talking about here today, dude.
Yes. So I covered Dynamite yesterday. I know you and Scott covered Dynamite on Working Stiff, which is up right now. You can check it out.
We did. Apologies. I had every intention of being here yesterday, and then at like 11:30 yesterday morning, got a quick fire drill. Need you for a meeting, and I was like, guys, I don't think you understand. I need to talk about the Ops versus the Hurt Syndicate. I need to talk about a Mercedes Moné puppet and cake. And they're like, cool. No, you don't. No. We need you for an important meeting.
For a very important meeting. So, yes. But, Robert, let's get your thoughts on Dynamite from last night. or no, Wednesday.
Dynamite was 2 nights ago.
nights.
I also wasn't prepared to talk about Dynamite and just finished talking about it. I'll pull up the notes.
Okay. Cool.
Um,
But overall, I thought it was an okay follow up, but a lot of treading water. I said when it comes to some storylines.
it felt like a better version of Wrestle Dream when all was said and done.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
here's sort of why. Ops versus Hurt Syndicate, I felt was a stronger match than the Ops versus the Demand.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the match we thought, hey, this should be on a pay-per-view. This is a big moment. This is a big match. Great showdowns with Lashley and Joe, where you're like, boy, there's a world where if Lashley becomes the number one contender for Joe's world title, like Joe beats Hangman, and then we get that. Great. No Hangman on this show outside of like the opening little video, which was
That was
strange.
it.
It felt like Wrestle Dream. It already felt inconsequential. It somehow felt even more inconsequential coming out of this Dynamite, starting with the fact that, so Hangman wasn't there, but Joe was there, and they looked like a dominant force. I loved the Joe promo after, with Hobbs pointing out Powerhouse's Hobbs penchant for larger ladies.
Yes, I like that.
He is the new Mike Awesome. He is the new fat chick Thrilla. Darby delivered a promo that again reminds people, why the hell is Darby Allin a babyface? He is a terrible, terrible babyface.
You didn't like the promo?
The Darby Allin, I'm gonna die in this ring. No,
I thought it was a little much, but I thought like he spoke with conviction and it kept it short and sweet, which I enjoy that. Like, so I thought it was a good promo for him, but I understood. Yeah, like I'm gonna die for this. I'm thinking, would you really? I wouldn't die for AEW.
I don't know that I would die for AEW, but also, do I want that? I want a baby face who's like, I'm gonna give you my all. I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna bust my ass. I don't want to see someone who's like, I'm willing to die for that's a little crazy. It goes from white meat baby face to Mark Wahlberg in Fear. So that's where it becomes, it's like he's like standing on your front lawn, stabbing himself with a knife, being like, if I can't be with you, then I can't be on this earth.
Plus, it's a company. It's a wrestling company. It's not, a person you're going to die for.
Even Tommy Dreamer would have been like, take it down a notch, dude. It's just a company. I love Tommy. Tommy's got a coffee company, by the way, going on.
His coffee's amazing, by the way. Have you had it?
I have not, but one of my favorite things about Dreamer was anytime we were doing pre-tapes at a company we don't talk about, the second time that I worked with Mr. Tommy Dreamer, or third, I've worked with Tommy a lot, he would always take my coffee mug and use it in whatever promo he was in. And just because he knew I was drinking coffee and I was tired, and just to be a jerk about it, it was a great rib. It was constant. Like, I'm going to take your coffee mug. I'm like, I need my friggin' coffee. There was a women's 4-way tag match to promote the women's tag team tournament, which was a fine way to promote the women's tag tournament. More effective than, good news, here's a surprise second Mercedes Moné match.
Well, look, what did you think of the bracket layout and everything to that effect? Did you?
I liked the notion that if you win the 4-way, you get to pick your opponent in the first round.
Sure. I thought that was neat. And I like the pairing of Jamie Hayter and Queen Aminata.
It worked. Like, the teams do work. I think Megan and Penelope is a strong, effective heel team if they would just stop beating them.
I know they lose all the time.
They lose all the time.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, did you happen to think about the so a lot of the chat here yesterday made it the case for like, hey, this could have been an opportunity to have some different women in the tournament than what we're used to seeing week in and week out. And people were mentioning Deanna and Taya Valkyrie, Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa. This could have been some opportunities to bring some other women in that we haven't seen in a while, like Hikaru Shida and whoever. And I was like, that's a compelling argument to make because, yes, we've seen a lot of these women before. I don't think Alex Windsor and Rio are necessarily relevant in the bracket. Like, I do think there could be a case of why to make some other women in the tournament again and kind of make it more intriguing. Although I am intrigued by the tournament. I will say that.
I think the tournament's intriguing. you're marrying these teams together in a way where it feels like now there's a women's tag division.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I do love that. I love the idea that the Bucks were begging for a match, and then they get put in this interesting 8-man teaming with FTR. It's like, hey, we're almost making Collision almost feel relevant.
Right. Yeah. It was like, do I kind of try to watch Collision this week because of that match? But I probably won't. But it was a good match looking at. Yeah, I enjoyed that too, Robert. I did think this was a showcase of how many freaking belts are too many in the promotion right now overall. It's just way too many titles. And that was further accentuated by Mercedes Moné walking out with 12 of them.
I don't mind her walking out with 12 titles. I don't mind the Ultimo Monet thing. It's kind of funny. I love Harley Cameron with the puppet. I think is always a great idea.
Mhm.
There was a cake. You'll never guess what happened with that cake.
Never.
Shocking.
Mhm.
What a moment in the history of AEW. Sorry, I just keep looking at my notes to see what else there was. Oh, Moxley
Yes.
lost an I Quit match. What was supposed to be the definitive pinnacle end of this insane storyline war.
Mhm.
And then he was on Dynamite. Totally fine after the I Quit match. I like I like a little bit this notion that he now he's sort of mentally scarred from what happened. Like we saw this with Gunther
Mhm.
before. So we saw it bleed into the Kyle O'Reilly thing where he was so worried that he was going to tap, like he's doubting himself. I don't know that I would necessarily be telegraphing where this is ultimately going to go. We knew that that eventually, I was going to call them the Dark Order. My God, that's how bad it is. The Death Riders are going to turn on Moxley because they keep failing and failing and failing, and it's going to be the Hyenas and Scar.
Mhm.
Totally fine with it. I don't know that you necessarily need to make it that obvious. I thought losing the I Quit match, that's when they would have taken the stand and be like, we don't need you. But maybe what was going on with the Vision and Seth has
Mhm.
forced them to kind of push this down a little bit, or maybe it's character growth.
Perhaps. I was when they first showed Moxley on Dynamite and he cut that backstage promo after the pay-per-view. It was just like mumbling and being like, I'll be back and blah, 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 and all that stuff. I was like, oh my God, we're getting just more of this. There's nonsensical. But then the payoff did end up happening during his match with Kyle O'Reilly, where it's just like, okay, he's flawed. He's going to struggle. And
He's
I'm kind of
flawed. And then it bled into a 6-man tag, which they've
Mhm.
been doing a lot of meaningless 6-mans. At least this was coming off of a storyline, so we're improving a little bit here.
Yes.
Like it
And they
wasn't
lost.
just
Yeah.
they did, but then you had Pac and Ishii and all these guys brawling and whatever. Fletcher comes out. He looks great. Man can wear the hell out of a suit.
He looked good in a suit.
He's got stupid sunglasses, which
Oh, you got stupid sunglasses? I feel left
do
out.
I have stupid sunglasses?
You should just wear
Um,
those all the time, Robert.
I'm not. I will. This was it just happened to be sitting right here because it was in the bedroom. It was from my daughter was at a friend's bat mitzvah, and that was the thing they gave. So it worked out as a good prop. And then Mark Briscoe comes out, demands another shot at this title. That's what I was saying. This is like Wrestle Dream Part 2.
Yeah.
We're coming off of Wrestle Dream to get new matches like Samoa Joe and Hangman Adam Page and Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe.
Mark Briscoe. Don't forget the Demand versus the Syndicate too seems to be.
Oh yeah, the Demand and the Syndicate in the feud that's never ever gonna outlive us all. Main event Bandito and Okada was a great opportunity to test out Bandito as a main eventer.
And what'd you think? Did he pass?
He is just like flying colors. I am a big fan of this guy. I'm a big fan of this this situation. The fact that you're advancing the Okada Takeshita feud while also using it to elevate not only your tag titles but elevate Bandito. Like this is the good stuff. This is what you want to see from AEW.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it hurt Bandito though? Him just losing straight up.
Lost to Okada.
Yeah, but
Not to mention,
yeah.
he lost. He had the bum arm.
Sure. Okay. That's
So
a good
it was coming off of this. He gutted it out. He beat Okada with one arm in that tag match. There was no way he was going to pull that miracle off twice. It's kind of like we saw this with Jeff Hardy years ago with The Undertaker. It's like you get the fluke, but then you're not really ultimately able to get the real win. I didn't mind that. It felt like this is your real world title. it felt like, boy, we're going to get something fun with Okada and Takeshita.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty fair follow up. Like there is that Wrestle Dream Part 2 aspect and several feuds that are going to continue that don't seem to need to continue. But ultimately, they did all right. I thought it was just fine, Robert. Just fine.
It was fine. I think there's potentially more interesting stories with it for Full Gear, except we're getting the AEW Women's title versus the AEW TBS title, which I'm pretty sure we just had.
We just had that. And you know what? That puts both those stars in a bad predicament, I think, because Chris Statler just won that championship not too long ago. And then Mercedes Moné needs to win that championship to actually feel like she's the queen of all the belts, because that's supposed to be your biggest title in the world right there is the AEW World Championship. And if she loses that, she is not.
Right.
So,
It's like that was the story, and she keeps having to go and try to get more and more belts. So eventually, when she becomes the Boca Raton Championship Wrestling Women's Champion, because she just needs every title imaginable, she will not be, by the way.
No.
We've got
you don't think so?
Well, no, it won't be on this show in November because we have a huge match on November 2nd taking place in beautiful Boca Raton, Florida. We're not going to reveal, but we know Lacey Lane is going to be competing. We're not going to reveal who her opponent is, but it is a big name. I'm very excited about that. What?
Wendy Richter?
We couldn't get Wendy Richter, unfortunately, because it's not 1986.
Gotcha. Okay. Noted.
But it is a Friday, and SmackDown is tonight.
The card is stacked, Robert. Do you know what the card is? I just
no, because you didn't send me the email.
I know. Oh, where's it hailing from? Do you know that, Robert?
Let's go with Topeka.
No, way far off. They're at. I can't believe it's called this. The Mullet Arena in Tempe, Arizona. The Mullet Arena.
Yes, the Mullet Arena.
Wow. We have Tiffany Stratton taking on Kiana James, so get ready for that one. And then we have Fraxium versus DIY. That's the only matches listed. That's it.
Okay, but they were both set up last week.
Mm-hmm.
On SmackDown, you're clearly getting to a Tiffany Stratton Julia feud,
right?
All right, you're gonna give you a match. I think you need Tiffany to kind of get a solid win underneath her, which is great. Fraxium and DIY is going to be a really fun tag match.
Absolutely,
we the SmackDown tag division has been kind of the workhorse of SmackDown. And these are two teams we haven't really seen in action of late. Let's get them both out there. Let's get them plugged back in. We know that the tag champs, the Wyatts, are not exactly team we're clamoring to go see, but them and the MFTs having those showdowns is kind of fun. Right. Ilya Dragunov as the U.S. champ.
We didn't even talk
knowing that Solo wants to get that back. Solo and Ilya Dragunov is like, hey, that's a fresh match. That's kind of fun. We're definitely going to see Miz and Mello on SmackDown tonight in some form or fashion, and whatever's going to be next with Cody and Drew.
Yeah, Robert, I did mean to get your thoughts actually on that Dragunov Sami Zayn match. I mean, you've consistently said how big of a, his best work in the business Sami Zayn is. That was a great match. They had like 5 commercial breaks.
They brought that dude back at the perfect time. That dude being Dragunov, who, when he was hurt, it was unfortunate. He's bulked up. He's got that cool neck tattoo. He looks like a menacing threat. And what I love most about it is you've elevated the U.S. title with the Sami Zayn stuff. You now have a story where you're not going to jump to an immediate rematch because Sami and Ilya have an issue with the MFTs. As do the tag champions. And now the MFTs feel like a groundswell stable. They are kind of a menace going on SmackDown that I wonder what's going to happen next with those guys. And you did need to reestablish them with the audience because they just kind of kept losing and losing and losing. They're now back. They've got the face paint. You can do any number iteration combination of Dragunov versus JC Mateo, or Tama Tonga and Sami Zayn, or a tag match, or bring in a third guy. It's those fun pieces that you can kind of mix up. I feel like we need to see the Street Profits follow up from them losing. If this is the split, make it the split, and let's go with Montez Ford going forward. Clearly, with Jacob Fatu getting taken out last week, now it's the who attacked Jacob Fatu. I've seen some people thinking it's Cody.
Wow. Well, I mean, if you look at how SmackDown finished up, it was Cody who got the DQ finish. Like he's cost the fans, an ultimate decision in that. I was like, that kind of feels a little out of place, right?
It feels a little out of place, but it feels like to quote Clue, it's a red herring, much like communism. I still think that the real money is in Orton being the guy who's coming after Cody, but another Drew match, maybe. Because you need something. The problem is you needed something for Drew to do, and then you had the Fatu situation. But with Sammy now kind of being freed up, even if you assume with MFTs, you can still have him do some stuff with Drew to kind of distract. Devin Dallin. What?
I'm sorry. Do you like that Drew though is kind of he's almost if they do decide to go with Orton, Drew's kind of in this stopgap position where it's just like he's fill in the blank challenger for Cody right now. It's like I always just feel Drew needs to be in a better, he's not like a fill in the blank kind of guy. Right?
Well, that's the unfortunate thing with the Jacob Fatu injury is it felt like we were going to be getting a meaningful Jacob Fatu Drew feud. The other guys you've still got there, you still have Aleister Black and Damian Priest.
True.
And you can always pivot and move to Drew and Priest.
Yeah,
for those guys to go at it again for a little while. They have options, and I think it's nice that there are some options. I'm curious to see what this Black Zelina Vega thing is going to look like. I love the pairing. My concern is they're spooky. The Wyatts are spooky. I never like too much spookiness on a single show.
MFTs have the spooky thing going on.
The MFTs have a menace to them, which is nice. They're not so much supernatural, but them feuding with the Wyatts, it does feel a little bit like when the Dungeon of Doom feuded with the Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
Which was great because you got like Ming versus Arn.
Yeah, true, right?
And anyone who's listened to the Arn show over the years knows how Arn Anderson thinks of Ming and Haku and does not want to mess with that guy. Another guy I don't want to mess with is Andrade because he's somehow in two companies and no companies all at the same time.
What is going on here, Robert? You're the legal man. What's happening?
So there's a non-compete.
Uh-huh.
People are debating whether or not the non-compete is enforceable or unenforceable. And I think that the concern is from both sides putting that in front of a judge and dragging that into court. Because if it goes to court, Andrade absolutely can't do anything until it's settled in court. Right. And if the judge decides to rule in some form or fashion that they're going to enforce this, then he's out for a year. Mm-hmm. And now has to pay all these extra legal fees. If WWE loses this, then it really impacts the teeth of their contract. The notion that maybe WWE is trying to get Andrade back, like they're chasing him with a butterfly net. I don't know what the hell's going on here. It's weird. What's also kind of fun is at the same time this is going on, everyone's speculating about what's going to happen with Chris Jericho.
Right. That's the other element to all of this is it just seems like a foregone conclusion at this point. He's going to make a return to WWE. It just feels that way, right?
I kind of hope that he is. I think that's the best use for Jericho right now. Mm-hmm. Him back in AEW, I don't know what it necessarily gets anybody. We saw Jericho have that AEW run. It had its good moments. It had a lot of really not good moments. Him getting a retirement tour at the same time AJ's getting a retirement tour is super funny, especially if he's trying to have the most retirement tour. Like it's I think that's where it could be good. Yes. I think there are people in WWE that Chris can work with. Mm-hmm. My pitches that I had thrown out there, I wanted to see him working. I got to ask, give me a pitch for Jericho. I said, okay, here's a pitch for Jericho. Logan Paul hires Chris Jericho as an independent consultant because he's a former world champion and a multimedia superstar. So the idea is nobody can lay a hand on Chris Jericho because he doesn't work for WWE. He's an independent consultant. And anybody that dares touch him risks being sued. Yeah. So now you can have Jericho on TV and not forced us to have to watch Jericho matches. And then as soon as somebody does hit him, whoever that may be, it's a big moment.
Right.
But it helps elevate Logan Paul and puts Logan Paul in a position where he can be a world champion. That's one scenario. Another scenario is him to get partnered up with Dom.
Me?
No, the Dom we actually love and respect, Dominic
Oh.
Mysterio.
Okay. Yes.
And have him talk about how he's really his I'm basically your uncle because your dad Eddie was my best friend, and I think just him being called Unky Chris
Oh my
would
God.
make me laugh to no end. Be better than Uncle Howdy, that's for damn sure. And Devin Dowling says Jericho return in a prime bottle. Man, that would be amazing. And Jennifer V says, tuning in from Las Vegas, home of WrestleMania, where WWE's right now got to be thinking, what are they rolling with Mania? And what's crazy is Kevin Owens is on the shelf. Jacob Fatu is on the shelf. Seth Rollins is on the shelf. Bianca Belair is on the shelf. Obviously, Gunther is currently on the shelf. And they're still stacked and loaded and could put together a series of dream matches going into WrestleMania. You've
100%.
still got Roman, you've still got Punk, you've got Cody, you've got Drew, you've got Orton, you've got Sammy, you've got AJ. We know John's going to be retiring at the end of the year, but you can be elevating Jey Uso. Like, there are so many fun opportunities and ways for WWE to go. This is why it's the best. This is why you guys tune into this show every Monday through Friday on a plethora of platforms, including a new platform, Dom, if you want to throw that graphic up there again, because it was so great, because it does have the Gator logo. Yes, on Monday, in addition to everywhere else, we will be on the Podcast Heat YouTube channel. You can take that down now. So if you don't subscribe to Podcast Heat's YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to that now. You can also catch us streaming live on the WWE Creative _ish X account, the @Dominic D'Angelo X account, the @SE Scoops X account, and on YouTube on Rumor and Innuendo ad-free shows, and starting on Monday on the Podcast Heat YouTube channel. What a day, what a week. On behalf of the guy who's pointing to his head because he thinks he's either Bobby Heenan or he's having a stroke, Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpolis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
See you Monday, all you humanoids. Yeah.